Hello, this is Gabby Ray Talker, reporting on more of my findings on the Bobbi Kristina's drowning investigation. Well, I was looking over Bobbi Kristina's and Nick Gordon's Twitter friends list and I found something very strange. I pointed it out in my previous video, and that is, Bobbi Kristina's own aunt, Leolah Brown, is not even on Bobbi Kristina's Twitter list of friends. Instead, Leolah Brown appears to be on Nick Gordon's Twitter friends list. Look, I took a screenshot of it and, not only is Leolah Brown on Nick Gordon's friends list, but YF Kennedy, also known as Jerod Brown, is on there as well. Although YF Kennedy is on Bobbi Kristina's Twitter friends list, Leolah Brown is not. Leolah seems to portray an image as though she was close to Bobbi Kristina, when all along it does not appear so. The proof is in the pudding. It looks like Leolah Brown is closer to Nick Gordon. She is not on Bobbi Kristina's Twitter friends list. She is on Nick Gordon's. I observe Leolah's actions of posting messages on Facebook saying Nick Gordon was under investigation for attempted murder was all an act, because it seems like Leolah's main goal is to try to blame Pat Houston for Bobbi Kristina and Whitney Houston's drownings, redirecting the attention away from Nick Gordon and Jerod Brown. He appears to support Leolah Brown's actions of accusing Pat Houston and, at the same time, he openly supports Nick Gordon, and I mean, really shows his support for him. But anyway, back to the point, and the point is, Leolah Brown and Jerod Brown seems to have something in common, and that is, they all seem to be against Pat Houston. Is it possible that this common ground built on hatred brought them together in a plot of destruction against Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina? Is it possible that these three planned their own Illuminati sacrifice of Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina, for selfish gain, for money and fame? Here's why. All three of them demonstrate behavior as if they need to cash in on the tragedy of Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina, because they are constantly in the media. For instance, back in 2011 Leolah Brown published a book about herself, then, a few months later in 2012 Whitney Houston was dead. Which may have helped to promote a book. Then immediately after Whitney Houston died, Leolah Brown ran to the media and said Whitney Houston was murdered and Bobbi Kristina was not safe. So how would she know this? She tried to blame Ray J and Pat Houston for the drowning, and now with Bobbi Kristina, first she tried to make it seem like she was blaming Nick Gordon. Then she turned the attention to Pat Houston, saying that she is responsible. Then in the midst of her defaming accusations, she started promoting a fashion line. She is trying to start using the tragedy as a marketing tool, and Nick Gordon seems to be using the tragedy as well for fame, first by going on Dr. Phil. So out of all the doctors in the United States, he agreed to get help on national TV in front of millions of people. Now of course, I see, he agreed to do this to gain fame. He even made comments about his fame without having any real accomplishments. He made a comment that Dr. Phil is famous like him, and he is making Dr. Phil more famous. He continues to uphold that statement by constantly posting things on his Twitter that will draw attention to him. This is what I mean by behavior that would lead me to believe his goal is getting fame by way of a personal sacrificial trade in exchange. And last but not least is Jerod Brown. To me it seemed like he is so desperate to get famous, it seems like he would do almost anything to get it. I hear that he is trying to do a prayer tour for Bobbi Kristina. So what is he, Kirk Franklin now? In the name of Bobbi Kristina? He is doing anything for fame. I see. Come to think of it, when Whitney Houston died, Jerod got on TV with Leolah Brown co-signing with her in there, claims that Whitney Houston was murdered, but still, I ask, if they were so sure that Whitney Houston was murdered, then why get on national TV and why not leave it for proper investigators? It's like they used the situation for fame and money. It's like they could have been a part of a sacrificial plot to gain fame. One thing that it seems like is that Jerod Brown is trying his hardest to be famous. Even if it takes portraying an Illuminati role such as being taken for a Mason.
I'm in Mason. I'm in Mason. T told me to do this shit. I'm in Mason.
Some would say Masons abide within the Illuminati family. Well, there could have been Illuminati activity among these three that may have occurred with the trade of a personal sacrifice for fame, but is this the case? One thing I know for sure is that all three seem to be reaching for attention, and have used, and is, using the tragedy of Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina in getting ahead. And another thing I know for sure is that all three, Nick Gordon, Jerod Brown and Leolah Brown, are definitely linked together on Twitter.
I'm in Mason.
This is Gabby Ray, Talker. Thanks for watching, bye bye.